Hello everyone and welcome to Mobility Academy. I'm the flexibility guy, Coach Elia, and in today's video I want to show you the top 3 exercises to stretch your adductors. So these are the top 3 exercises to stretch your adductors, your lower body, which I already posted on this channel and that you can use to improve your flexibility and maybe to reach your splits, all right? But before I start, let me remind you that if you want to work on your flexibility, on your hamstrings or on your bodyweight training, you can join my online coaching program, all right? Which is a personalized program which we're gonna make together following your level of preparation and your needs that will lead you towards your goals. And today you can have a special offer if you click on the link in the description down below. All right, now with that said, let's start. All right, guys, so the first exercise I want to talk to you about is the Tailor Pose, which is really one of my favorites because beginners, intermediate, advanced practitioners all can do that. It depends on your level of flexibility. I've seen people with really good flexibility struggle during this exercise right here, because this exercise here is really specific for a certain area of your body, which are the pubofemoral ligaments, all right? Of course, you're gonna stretch your adductors and also the ligaments inside your hips, which are some ligaments that it's not dangerous to stretch them. It's good for your hips flexibility in general, all right? So all you have to do this exercise right here is you start sitting down on the floor with your back against the wall, all right? And from there, you wanna join your heels and your feet together. You wanna bring them close to your hips, all right? And of course, you'll have your knees by your sides, all right? So the knees will stay away from the floor for the majority of you. If you can't touch the floor with your knees, then this exercise is done for you, okay? Move to the next one, move to another one, all right? But if your knees aren't touching the floor yet, all right, you can put your hands on your knees, but I strongly suggest you use a weight first, all right? So take a weight, a couple of weights actually. Maybe you can start with 4 to 5 kilos, which is 8 to 10 pounds or something like that, and you put 5 kilos on one knee, 5 kilos on the other knee, and from there you put also the hands on top, and from there you simply push down your knees. Now you want to relax your hips, and since you don't have something under your hips, it may be useful to put maybe some yoga blocks or something like that under your knees, just to relax your legs on the yoga blocks, above the yoga blocks, and this way you're gonna be able to relax your hips as you are in the stretch. Now you can push with your hands down, and you want to follow the assistance of the weights, all right? So you don't want to contract your hips, you don't want to squeeze your hips, you don't want to keep tension in your hips. So make sure that you're staying in a stretch where you can feel the weights pushing your knees down, and you're also applying some kind of gentle, really gentle pressure with your hands down on your knees, all right, against the knees, and you want to push them down towards the floor. Now you can slowly move down, down, down until you have your knees on the floor, and you can do that applying PNF contractions, so pushing your knees up for a count of 10 to 15 seconds, then you relax and you get like deeper into the stretch, or you can do the reverse, which is an antagonist contraction, and I talk about it in my books, Split Socket and Shoulders Range. And basically here you want to push the knees rather than up, you want to push the knees down, all right? So as if you wanted to like go with the weights, like you want to push in the same direction of the weight and of your hands, so towards the floor. So you push against the yoga blocks. You push and you hold that contraction the same 10 to 15 seconds, then you relax, inhale, exhale, try to get deeper. To get deeper, you simply want to bring the yoga blocks out, and then you want to turn them on the lower surface, and then you want to go again into the stretch until you have your knees on the floor. This is the aim of this first exercise for your adductors and for your hips. A really strong one, the Tailor Pose. Now let's see the second one. The second exercise for your adductors is the frog stretch on the wall. This is one of my favorites, and it's so strong. And yeah, you know, I am a big fan of the exercises that beginners, intermediate, advanced students can use. All right, so here, this exercise here, a beginner can do this exercise here and gain flexibility, and also in advanced, because this exercise here, in its final form, it's harder than a side split, than a middle split. It's harder. All right, so can you imagine, like, everyone can do this, following, of course, his or her flexibility level. So you want to start lying down with your back on the floor, and you want to put your feet on the wall. Now, your knees must stay flexed with a 90-degree angle. All right, so 90 degrees on the knees, and you want to have a 90-degree angle also between your femurs, so your legs, and your torso. So your torso must stay in a position where your femurs are in line. All right, so a 90-degree angle. Then from there, you want to start the stretch right there. Make sure that your feet stay in line with your knees. All right, so as you are in the position, you want to make sure that the feet are a direct projection of your knees. So you want to project the knees towards the wall, and that is where the feet must stay. Then from there, you want to take some weights, maybe 5 kilos, something like that, 10 pounds, one on top of one knee, one on top of the other knee. You put the hands on the knees and you push down slowly. Again, you can use the yoga blocks under the knees or under the femurs to relax better in the position. And this is something I really suggest doing. All right, so take some yoga blocks under and relax it there. You can apply pressure with your hands. You want to relax it there. You can apply a PNF contraction, so you push your knees up 10 to 15 seconds, then you relax, inhale, exhale, try to get deeper. Or you can apply an antagonist contraction, so rather than pushing up, you want to actually push down towards the blocks, and you hold that contraction 10 to 15 seconds again, and then you relax, inhale, exhale, you get deeper again. Now, as you get deeper, which means that you're kind of pulling the knees down, you want to make sure that you're following the movement with your feet. So your feet must go down if your knees go down. All right, so the same movement, you want to apply the same concept here. So make sure that your feet always stay in line with your knees. All right, and like the progression here, everyone has a different path. You can start really high, just make sure that the yoga blocks follow, and then from there you want to turn the yoga blocks in their like lower surface until you can touch the floor. This is the end of this exercise here. I have seen really few people do this because it's really difficult, but yeah, you know, there's a huge exercise. Awesome exercise. You can do that if you are an advanced, if you are a beginner, if you are an intermediate, doesn't matter. It will allow you to gain more and more flexibility. And this, maybe it's my favorite one here, but now let's see the last one, the third best exercise for your adductors. All right, guys, so this is the third exercise, the third best exercise for your adductors. So far we have seen exercises for the adductors, so stretches for the adductors with the legs bent. So in the Tailor Pose, the legs are bent. In the frog stretch, the legs are bent. Now we want to see an exercise where the legs stay straight, because you can stretch your adductors with your legs bent and with your legs straight. There's a small difference, but when you have your legs straight, you stretch also a muscle, a really small muscle called gracilis, which is a muscle inside the adductors, which is an adductor itself. And so you're going to stretch the whole group of the adductors. So that's why I'm gonna put this exercise as the third, because it's an exercise where you keep your legs straight, and it's similar to a side split. All right, so you want to put your feet against the wall. So you want to sit down with the wall in front of you. You want to keep keep your legs straight and you want to put the feet against the wall. Now from there, you want to keep your hands behind your back, all right, like behind your glutes, and you want to push your hips against the wall. So you want to really move the hips against the wall, and you want to slide out with your feet. So the more you slide out, the more you want to bring the hips closer and closer and closer to the wall until you can find your stretch, of course. It's really simple here. A lot of people ask me, should I arch my back? Yeah, you should arch your back. You shouldn't like keep your hips in a posterior tilt. So you want to arch the back. You really want to open that lower back. You want to straighten the lower back. Put your chest, not your chest out, your belly out. So you want to push your belly out. You want to anterior tilt, and you want to sit down on your sit bones, not on your glutes. So when you sit down on your glutes, you have your spine curved, your spine rolled back, so posterior tilt. When you're sitting on your sit bones, on your hip bones, you're opening your hips, you're straightening that lower back, you're really creating an arch on that lower back curve, and that's exactly what you want to do here. You want to keep your legs straight, and you want to move closer and closer. Now, when you slide out with your feet, you want to move the hips closer, but you want to make sure that your hips don't come back off the wall, okay, again, like away from the wall. And to do that, make sure that you're putting your hands right behind your glutes to let them stay there at all times. You can apply a PNF contraction here. The beautiful thing of the adductor stretches is that you can use both a PNF contraction and an antagonist contraction. In the PNF contraction, you want to push your feet against the wall for a count of 10 to 15 seconds. You hold, then you stop, inhale, exhale, and try to get deeper. When you want to get deeper, just make sure you push with your hips against the wall, so you move the hips and you slide out with your feet. But you can also apply an antagonist contraction where you basically push your feet away from the wall. So you squeeze your glutes and you push the feet out, and you hold that contraction 10 to 15 seconds again, and then you stop, inhale, exhale. You try to get deeper, so you move closer to the wall. All right, so this is the third exercise, the third best exercise for your adductors flexibility. So first one, the Tailor Pose. Second one, the frog stretch on the wall. Of course, it's a really, I know that this variation of the frog stretch may be something different from the usual variation of the frog stretch, but actually I want to tell you my truth is that this exercise, so the frog stretch, is useful only if done in this way. Because the other variations, I don't like them, because you're gonna waste time if you're not doing this. All right, so this is the second best exercise. And then the third, the chest wall split. So the split against the wall with your legs straight. And we have understood also why the stretches for the adductors can be done with your legs bent and with your legs straight. I highly suggest you do both bent legs stretches and straight leg stretches for a complete stretch of the adductors. And you can follow these three exercises. With these three exercises, you can stretch your adductors and gain a crazy amount of flexibility to perform the splits and to be really flexible in your hips and legs. All right, so but now I want to listen to your opinions. I want to listen to your questions, your doubts, everything. So feel free to ask in the comments down below what you have to say. All right, and if you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed these three exercises, please hit that like button and help me grow this YouTube channel. You know, it means a lot to me, guys. You know that. But with that said, that's all for the top three exercises to stretch your adductors from the flexibility guy, Coach Elia. See you in the next video. Have a nice stretch. Bye.